Well, hello everybody. I'm Alphonse van Edrikum with the Central Indiana Community Foundation, and together with Gabe, I'm a co-chair of the ROW Steering Committee, as well as co-chair of the Pleasant Run Waterway and the Healthy Connections Element Committees. I would like to welcome everyone to another ROWPort where we recount some of the accomplishments of the last year, as well as ROW's continued dedication to the people of Indianapolis. A little bit of history first. CICF, together with the Lilly Foundation and Keep Indianapolis Beautiful, co-founded Reconnecting to Our Waterways in March of 2011 and has been a major funder ever since. The initial impetus for ROW's creation was based on a national livability conference that took place here in Indianapolis in October of 2010. A powerful idea came out of that conference, that every resident should have access to art, nature and beauty every day. Let me repeat that every resident should have access to art, nature and beauty every day. This has been the guiding value of ROW and CICF since ROW inception. There are many examples of this in all the beautiful destination areas that the city's residents, with ROW's assistance, have created along these waterways. And today, we will see some of the examples of ROW's involvement with the waterways and the resulting benefits to the adjoining neighborhoods. I hope you will enjoy the short program that ROW's incredible staff has just put together for you. And with that, Gabe Filippelli.
Hi there, I'm Gabe Filippelli. I'm co-chair with Alphonse of Reconnecting to Our Waterways. I'm a professor at IUPUI, and I got involved because at the outset, this was all about the science of a better city. And we're actually looking at one of the spots right now that exemplifies that. Because of the partnership with ROW, we were able to get a very large grant to study the urban waterways here in Indianapolis, particularly what impact sewage has on them and how they will recover when we fix our sewer infrastructure problem in a couple years. This is Prospect Falls, a beautiful site. It's hidden obviously behind some of the shrubbery, but the point of this site and all of these wonderful sites is that they show you how close we are to nature and how close we are to things that bring value to communities and value to organizations like IUPUI. So without this connection with ROW, we would have never been able to do this research study, which has employed a number of students and graduate students and has resulted in new discoveries about how urban waterways work right here in Indiana, but is applicable abroad. Now, I do want to thank, at the bottom of my heart, the steering committee for ROW. They work tirelessly week after week, month after month, achieving the goals that we set forward for this vision, which is vast, but they also help inform our vision. So I'd like to thank them from the bottom of my heart. I've been a steering committee member before as co-chair, and I will be again. I love you all, and I appreciate your hard work.
Hi, and welcome to our most unusual ROWPort event ever, which is Reconnecting to Our Waterways, annual celebration of waterways. Our theme this year is Exploration and Celebration, and I thank you for joining us. I'm Julie Rhodes, Collective Impact Director for ROW. We'd like to be together in person today, but instead we decided that we'd celebrate in this safe virtual way and hope that we can make it as fun and informative as we possibly can. We're here on the Indy Convergence, a rising tide stage, on the White River in a socially distanced ROWPort event with the beautiful Emmericksville Dam behind us. For everyone new to ROW, we walk alongside 6 Indianapolis waterway communities. We help them develop work plans and then bring resources to actualize those plans. As the collective of hundreds of partners and volunteers that make up our steering committee, our element committees and waterway committees, we're all rowing in unison towards this common objective to connect us to our waterways. We help build connection to and value for our waterways in hopes that that will lead to care of our waterways. We know that many of us have had a difficult year with the coronavirus pandemic and so much social unrest. At the same time, we have also witnessed across the collective how adversity has resulted in our funders, partners, and community members showing the very best of humanity. When COVID-19 hit, our community funders came together. Central Indiana Community Foundation, Nina May Pulliam Charitable Trust, and the Herbert Simon Family Foundation, among others, jumped into gear and created the COVID Economic Community Relief Fund to help our community and those that are suffering. The Arts Council of Indianapolis set up a fund for artists and musicians. Citizens Energy ensured that our most vulnerable had access to drinking water and could wash their hands during this COVID crisis. So they instituted a no shut-off policy. Indianapolis Neighborhood Housing Partnership was assisting residents in staying in their homes. LISC Indianapolis was helping small business and nonprofits secure federal payroll protection funding. And Groundwork Indy extended their mission on sustainability and youth development and started distributing food to struggling neighbors. Everywhere we looked with ROW's expansive network, people were stepping up, doing good during a time of struggle, giving us all so much to be thankful for and hopeful about. During these early and uncertain times in March and April, we didn't know how COVID would impact our communities and our partners. We only knew that we needed to figure out if and how our communities might want to continue to be engaged with ROW and advance those projects, those dreams, those efforts during this unprecedented time of isolation and uncertainty. Quickly, however, we heard from them that there was so much struggle in the world, and they saw ROW as sort of a positive, bright light, a way that they could give back and contribute to their community at a time when a lot of people were feeling a lot of uncertainty and isolation. So they identified waterways, greenways, and parks as a critical aspect to maintaining health and well-being during that stress and isolation. Getting outside in a safe manner became so important during these early days of COVID, and even more so now as the pandemic continues on month after month. So today is a celebration for the entire year, but maybe we should especially celebrate all of your kindness, generosity, perseverance, and dedication to our neighborhoods, our communities, and our waterways since March. Never has nature, beautiful spaces like we're in today, and sharing quality time together in a safe way been more important than it is right now. So throughout the program today, you're going to hear from lots of people throughout the collective. We're going to hear from community members along our waterways. We're going to hear from Kelly Brown, our metrics manager, giving us a little update on what we've accomplished. And we're going to hear from David Hillman with the Nina May Pulliam Charitable Trust, giving us an update on a new study that just came out.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to be able to talk to you today. I want to share some of the accomplishments ROW's done in the last year since our last ROWPorts. Over this year, we've engaged over 1,900 people through a variety of activities, including 107 meetings, so that's like element and waterway and steering committee meetings, 22 events and hikes, which is things like the Canal Fishing Day or hikes along the White River. We've had 14 workshops and presentations, so that includes our 3 in the Know with ROWs and a rain barrel workshop we did along Fall Creek. We also did 7 restoration and cleanups along our waterways in the last year. We've also been able to increase our online and social media presence. Right now we have over 2,000 Facebook followers, over 1,700 Twitter followers, and over 700 people subscribing to our newsletter. ROW has also had many great direct impacts along our waterways. This includes 6 installations, such as the Spruce Avenue Plaza and Great Blue Heron sculpture, which you saw earlier today. We also were able to help enhance 1.5 miles of trails along our waterways. That includes making part of the Urban Wilderness Trail ADA accessible. Also this year, we were able to help restore 7.5 acres of habitat along our waterways. That includes Barton Park along Fall Creek, being able to remove invasives and plant some great natives. We're really excited about all these impacts we've seen over the last year. Since August, we've actually awarded a lot of subgrants to our committees. We were able to award nearly $50,000 in subgrants, and this leveraged over $150,000 in matching funds. This is really exciting. So that means for every dollar we award, we're able to match that with $3.10 in leveraged funding. We're really excited with how this collective has evolved over the years and how much together we're able to accomplish so much more, which you can see by all the activities we've accomplished since last year. Thank you.
Well, the Morrison report, this is actually the second of two polls that they conducted. It's done by the Morrison Institute of Arizona State University. First was done in 2017, and it's conducted with 800 registered voters to gauge their thoughts and opinions about the environment. And the first poll was overwhelmingly positive, and not surprisingly so was the second. One of the key findings from the report was that in the environment ranked third among Hoosiers, following healthcare and education as what they believed was important. 8 and 10 of them believed that the environment was important enough that we needed to address those issues immediately. Nearly that number believed that climate change also needed to be addressed, but was very real, and that there were things that we could do that the government, both federal and state, should be doing right now to address that. And they also believed that taking care of our waterways, our air, and our wildlife were equally important. Most importantly, for this group was that more than 60% of them believed that the White River was polluted and needed to be cleaned up. And so that was very encouraging to hear that information, because it tells us we need to be working on exactly what we're working on. What we're hoping people will do with this report, organizations like ROW, they can use it in their toolkits that they use to go out into the community to explain the importance of environmental issues and the issues that we do need to address. And so we think that's an invaluable tool. There are many advocates who are going to be using this as well. We're going to be approaching the state legislature and the governor and present them with these findings as well. And so if anyone would like to receive more information about this, it's on our website, and that's NinaNapoleonTrust.org.
Hi, I'm LaShonda Kroll-Storm, and I wear many hats with ROW. But today, I'm here to really talk about the Racial Justice and Equity Committee. Although for several years, ROW has had many conversations around racial justice and equity, it is in May 2020 when we really started to look at how do we ensure that these ideas around racial equity, justice, and inclusion are actually becoming a part of our DNA. As such, we formed the Racial Equity Subcommittee. One thing to think about is that ROW is a very unique space in the city of Indianapolis. It's one of the few places where we actually see municipal government, large nonprofits, small nonprofits, community members, artists, as well as funders all at the same table looking at how do we transform our cities. As such, it really is ROW's responsibility to also commit to looking at how that collective power can transform our community around racial equity issues. So we formally began that process in May 2020. Moving forward, what we've really done over the past few months as the Racial Equity Committee is look at the variety of trainings, resources available not only locally, but nationally, to look at how do we ensure that ROW and its communities are on the same page so that we can really start engaging in not only the difficult dialogues that will lead to racial equity, but look at how we can move forward to a transformation of our community. It's really important that we also look nationally to ensure that we're able to bring new resources, new ways of seeing and being into the city of Indianapolis that may presently not be here. One thing we've really focused on is how to get everyone on the same page about how to have a dialogue. So here's one of my favorite books, The Little Book of Dialogue for Difficult Subjects. This book comes out of Eastern Mennonite University's Center for Peace Building and Justice. The interesting part is in this book, we really talks about how do we have, what are our primary communication styles? So oftentimes we can get caught up in having conversation, which is just us talking about things that are important to us. So it might look like, hey, LaShonda, how was that movie Tenet that you just saw? And I kind of tell you. Then we can also get in conversation and discussion, which is really more of these ideas of exchanging information so we can accomplish a task. So in ROW, our task is to look at our waterways. So we're oftentimes engaged in discussion. But one of the things we really have to focus on when we're talking about these issues around racial justice, to not slide into debate consistently. And debate is really rooted in this notion of not listening to each other, but you're kind of sitting there the whole time with your rebuttal statement in your head, thinking about, they're saying this and this is what I'm going to say. And what we really want to do throughout this process is to learn how to have dialogue, which begins first with deep listening to each other to try to understand what the other person is saying. And through these processes of deep dialogue, coming to a common language, we'll really be able to work together to not only look at what a racially just and inclusive ROW looks like, how that can impact the city of Indianapolis, but also how to move forward toward implementation.
Hi, my name is Chris Core, and I'm co-chair of ROW's Fall Creek Committee. I'm standing here at the site of our brand new sign installation for the Nickel Plate Road and the Indiana State Fair train. We've accomplished a ton this year, and we're excited to tell you all about it. We've cleared invasives at Barton Park and planted new native species. We also cleared invasives at Fall Creek and 30th Park. Recently, we've been working with the White River and Canal committees on a brand new hackberry canoe race. We're also really excited about all the work the city's been doing on trails up and down the corridor, including a brand new segment of trail right across the creek from here between 38th and 39th. Most importantly, we've been working on the Lower Fall Creek Watershed Management Plan, doing an update of that plan. In the future, we hope to apply for IDEM implementation funding so we can implement green infrastructure all throughout the corridor. In the future, we hope that will provide us a greener and cleaner Fall Creek.
Hi, and welcome to the Pogues Run Waterway. I'm Susan Vogt with Near East Area Renewal and the Pogues Run Waterway Committee.
Hi, I am Amanda Wade. I live in Holy Cross, the neighborhood that we're in right now, and I work with the Pogues Run Waterway. We're here by our new sign. It's right on Vermont, and it marks the start of the Pogues Run Trail, or where the waterway goes underground at the box culvert. If you go north and east from here, the waterway is above ground and accessible. And there's tons of fun stuff to do on the trail, or on the waterway. Keep saying trail, I'll tell you why. One of the things that we've been working on is the Pogues Run Trail, getting that completed, and working with the Pathways Over Pogues to get our Noland Avenue Bridge, the historic Noland Avenue Bridge, completed, and allowing us to extend the trail farther. We've also worked on a virtual tour for birders along the waterway, and we also did
A photo contest?
The photo contest.
Last year?
Yes. Some things that we're looking forward to in the future are a bike tour, and also building bat boxes for Brookside Park. That's a lot of bees. And also continuing to
Fundraise for the trail.
fundraise for the trail. So thanks for visiting. I hope you guys will come see us along the Pogues Run Waterway, all the way from here to Pogues Run Art and Nature Park.
Hola, hello, bonjour, namaste, ciao, ni hao. My name is Jeb Barden. I'm the co-chair of the Little Eagle Creek Row, and I'd just like to welcome you to our area. I'm joined with Joan Servas as the other co-chair, and we are expecting some great things next year. We're planning a Creek Week where we're going to have the Honeysuckle Hackathon. We're working on an anthology of poetry. We have some coloring book activities with schools in the area. We're working on invasive removal. That's why you got to have one of these. And it's just going to be a great year. So looking forward to it. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Montel Hendricks. I'm the Youth Programs Coordinator with Groundwork Indy. We work with the Central Canal Committee with ROW, and we're here at our space, Groundwork Indy, Northwest Indy, in our garden. It's one of the projects that we have that we employ local community youth just to help beautify the area. Like I was saying, this garden is an example. Also dealing with kind of food availability in the area, giving residents the opportunity to have some access to some fresh produce and some fresh food. Like I said, we work with the Central Canal Committee. The canal is literally in our backyard over here. There's a new towpath that's coming along that will really highlight the area and hopefully bring a lot more visitors into our space and be able to see all the great things in the work that we're doing. Some of that work includes just kind of bringing the locals in and trying to empower them and connect them to the waterways. I know last summer we held a community fishing initiative, which kind of gave some of the local fishing lovers a chance to get some free fishing licenses, kind of have a fishing contest, get some youth interested in the waterways and how they can connect to them with just various games and fishing rod activities. I can't even tell you, but that's kind of some of the work we've done. Also in the past, before the towpath had even got started, it was a greenway, which we helped upkeep, just removing a lot of invasive species that would overgrow the path just to keep it a transportation route for those on foot or maybe on bike. So a lot of Japanese honeysuckles in the area, which grows very thick and makes it difficult for transportation, tree of heaven, and then some plants that are just kind of unwanted, maybe poison ivy or something of that sort. So we've been still kind of helping that process go along, just helping folks being able to travel, more freely in the area.
I'm Dan Geraci. I'm the liaison for Pleasant Run Waterway for ROW. I'm also a founding member of My Christian Park community organization and the treasurer thereof. We've been very busy this last couple of years doing some, I think, just great projects. We're here at Spruce Bridge here. We have a beautiful statue that we're very proud of that's been developed over this last year. This particular area is on both sides of this pedestrian bridge, and it's a very nice upgrade for the area. In addition to those two things that have been, which took a lot of community work and a lot of partners to help us get here. In addition to that, there's a couple of things going on in Christian Park that are very significant. One is a mural on the railroad bridge on English Avenue, right at the conjunction of Christian Park neighborhood and Twin Air neighborhood. One side of the mural shows more of Christian Park, and the other side more of Twin Air. Matching beautiful artwork that will be there for years to come. It's 95% finished right now, very nice. Another item that's going in Christian Park, also years in the making, is Christian Park trail upgrade. And what we're doing is adding more trail and replacing a pedestrian bridge over Pleasant Run. It's coming along beautifully. We're very proud of it, and it's another thing well supported by our community and from a grant that helped us do this. Additionally to that, and speaking about grants, is that we have reclaimed much of the wooded area in Christian Park, got rid of downed trees and got rid of invasive species, so you can actually see the water from the water walkway and the roadway. It's very nice. We're very happy to be able to do this for our community, and we've all worked really hard for it.
Robert Negron down here at the Emmericksville Dam near Belmont Beach. right across from School 63. As you can see, we've just been clearing invasives pretty much all up and down the west side and kind of restoring some existing access trails. I'm here with Samuel Penaloza and Ben Rose and Ted Hardy, and we're working on putting in a fountain installation for a larger Visit Indy Belmont Beach project that's going to be bringing School 63 down to the river for project-based learning and building out a space for residents to share and enjoy, bringing Wi-Fi down here. We're moving forward with a rising tide. We have some performances this year happening. We've got we're shooting something for with WFYI for the Jazz Festival that's going to go into the IPS schools. We've got a few other shows that are going to be happening.
And Greg Harger with the Urban Wilderness Trail and the White River Committee, obviously. And we're going to connect, reopen a trail that'll connect nature to all the activities that are going on here that are not unlike those on the east bank of the river with the Urban Wilderness Trail. So we should be able to bring all that together. We'll do a little, some small family group deadheading events here. You see a lot of wildflowers behind us along the river. And we're going to collect some of those seeds and move them around and spread them out so we can expand a little diversity on the wildlife right here in the city.
ROW was founded on 6 elements, or lenses, by which we look at the work we do to reconnect people to our waterways. More recently, we've seen some exciting shifts based on their evolutions. For instance, our aesthetics committee wanted to expand the idea of art beyond visual art and change their name to Arts and Culture. They've been working on a great project around arts-based community development through participation with Groundwork Indy, Arts Council of Indiana, and many others. Our economics committee brings together environmental and brownfields leaders from across the city. They've worked to advance the Development Accelerator this year, where they sit down with a community member and really try to provide them with direction on a project that they're interested in advancing. Over the coming year, we're working to move it forward with an EPA Brownfield grant application that can bring even more resources to our waterway communities. Our ecology committee has been focused on water quality, especially through invasive removal at locations like Barton Park along Fall Creek, and creating a backyard BioBlitz event. They also partnered with ROW's Education Committee on a series of short videos to help people identify native flowering plants. This first virtual event that we did was great. It brought together a lot of folks from ecology, from education, and it really lifted up the children's book that we helped fund called Wake Up Woods. Our connectivity and well-being committees joined forces this year and became Healthy Connections. And they held their first pedal and paddle event in Riverside Park. Now members of the committee are attending the waterway meetings and trying to find ways that they can add capacity on Healthy Connections type events on the waterways over the coming year.
When I think of Fall Creek, I think of like an entryway to the city of Indianapolis, an area of opportunity and an area of diversity. The park's gonna be a space for children to come and play here safely. It's gonna be a space for people to be more active. It's really gonna connect more people, and I'm hoping that once the park is built that we can see more people in this area too.
When I think of Pleasant Run, I think of the trees and our trail. It's sort of our window to nature. I think when I first moved in, it felt a little abandoned. There was more trash. There wasn't any evidence that people were trying to care for it. So I think putting in these destination places with artwork up and down the trail really make you feel, especially when you're experiencing it on a bicycle, you really feel like there's a sense of connectivity between the different neighborhoods.
When I think of White River, what comes to mind is don't go there. Well, my mother's mid-60s. She said she's been to concerts down here, she's been to picnics. And then, you know, as I was growing up, it was, you would hear like, don't eat the fish or you're gonna get sick. And then, you know, over the last 5 years, we started seeing the narrative is changing about White River. We can go down there, there's trails, there's places to hang out, we can go have picnics. So I'm 31 and I've never probably chilled or walked on the water. That's what we go out of town for. We usually go to Florida. Why not? It's in our backyard. So a lot of us in all these communities have been avoiding what's in our backyard.
It is an area of Indianapolis that people are unaware of the beauty and the ecology of it. Because people aren't aware that it's there, they aren't using it. I think we've fallen away from the environment and from ecology, and I think we've got to reconnect as a society to it.
We've been in the community for over 50 years. The problem in our neighborhood, the kids doesn't have anywhere to play, but it is a struggle because, you know, funding is a big problem in trying to move forward in the community.
I've enjoyed the connectivity of the trails along the creeks and how those also connect you to the city. This creek joins a river that joins a bigger river that goes to the ocean, and that what we do here really does matter. It starts here. So it's a great way to educate, to exercise, and to enjoy all the assets that Indianapolis has to offer.
I think it's nice to have not only the trail, which is the connection, but spaces like this where you can stop, take a break and reflect, and you're separated from the car traffic.
You know, I think Indianapolis hasn't really valued the White River, especially in the downtown area, that much. And so I felt like I didn't know that much about it until I started exploring again. Yeah, I'm really hopeful for what's going on with the river right now as people take a more eco-friendly look at how we can live, you know, within this environment.
When I was growing up, I think about those experiences. We hit train tracks in the neighborhood. We didn't have a little creek or a waterway, but we had train tracks. And just to be able to walk from one neighborhood to the other along the train tracks, you get to experience different things. You see different materials, different glass, different rocks. That's what Pogues Run offers. I would like to see a wider path kind of going along the side of Pogues Run to where you could have walking lanes, bike riding lanes, the scenery, and just the connection to nature and being outside. I just think it'd be a wonderful experience.
I'm a local artist here in Hubble. I'm a painter. Well, I'm very passionate about painting, so when I get to do it where I live, I guess it gives me more of a passion to pursue it even more. It's a beautiful spot. It's quiet. It's peaceful. You try to get away from all this noise. It's not that far away, but far enough, you know?
One of the most under-addressed issues we're having, especially in a neighborhood like this, is mental health and also physical fitness. The kids need PE, they need art, they need creativity, they need to get their mind off of these devices and also out of the house. Having a beautiful canal next to these houses is going to help out on the housing side of it, and it's going to attract more people to want to come out here to live, build businesses out here, so that's also helping with our economic development. People are not going to want to ruin something that's so beautiful, like especially naturally beautiful like this. So I'm always about, you know, trying to incorporate as much natural artwork. If we spend more time outside, you're going to meet more people. You're going to see more things. Everyone makes fun of me because no matter what, whenever I'm on a trail, I say hi to every single person that comes through. This is a good way for you to see people, to be recognized, you know, even for like a moment. Just saying hi to someone does wonders. If we want to carry on this Hoosier hospitality that we are open and loving towards everyone else, get out of here and show it.
So ROW couldn't begin to accomplish the work that we do without a very engaged and supportive collective. It's made up of our steering committee, our waterway committees, and our elements, but we couldn't do any of it without our funders. We're grateful to our funders that continue to invest in ROW, in our backbone and in our subgrants program and the other efforts that we undertake. The Herbert Simon Family Foundation invested in educational efforts with ROW, as well as our wayfinding signage project. ROW and Keep Indianapolis Beautiful have together secured an additional Simon grant where we'll be able to do some outreach and add some additional funding to our subgrant program for our waterways and other committees. The Central Indiana Community Foundation was really instrumental in starting up and supporting ROW since 2012. They continue to be our fiscal agent, and they support ROW's backbone and our subgrants program. The Cummins Foundation has been a critical partner along our Pogues Run waterway in helping us both get the historic bridge designed and now in repair, as well as getting the Pogues Run Trail shovel ready. We're also grateful to the City of Indianapolis DPW, who's supporting that effort to help us get the Pogues Run Trail design accomplished. Finally, the Nina Mason Pulliam Charitable Trust. We're winding down a 3-year grant with them. It was a large capacity building grant where we were able to staff up and provide support to our waterways. We were able to provide sub-grant dollars to our White River, and we were able to do today's ROWPort thanks to that grant. We've also been awarded an additional 2-year grant from Pulliam that's going to continue to support our waterway work. We're going to be able to provide support to the communications and metrics effort for our partners for the White River. And we are also going to be able to expand our education and outreach more watershed-wide across Marion County. ROW's grant program is an important component of resources that we provide to our communities and our committees. I'd like to acknowledge the funders that make those grants possible and tell you a little bit about the grants that we've been able to fund this year through those programs. ROW's Event Fund, supported through the Nina Mason Pulliam Charitable Trust, was able to fund events like a community fishing day along our Central Canal, a weed wrangle in Riverside Park, and a crosstown rain barrel workshop. Made more difficult due to COVID restrictions, we all got creative and reinvented events. We held a virtual event that was an In the Know with ROW, and we held Pathway Over Pogues kick off their funding campaign for their historic bridge repair. Our Nina Mason Pulliam Charitable Trust also funded our White River grants, which allowed projects like the native plantings and teacher education at School 63, stairs to the river to open up view sheds and create accessible spaces on the New York Street Bridge, a new river guide app by the Friends of the White River, a dye garden at the Indiana Arts Center, and funds to assist the Indiana Wildlife Federation in doing a sustainable trails project, as well as doing some educational videos in Spanish. The Flex Fund and Seed Funds comes from funding that we get from the Central Indiana Community Foundation and the Herbert Simon Family Foundation. There we were able to support projects like the art-based community development effort that our aesthetics committee is doing, the Fall Creek Watershed Management Plan, Christian Park Reclamation Initiative, an invasive removal project at Barton Park, and ROW's expansive education and wayfinding signage project, which you'll hear more about later.
Hey there, I'm Jill Hoffman with the White River Alliance. I'm also on the ROW Steering Committee, and I just wanted to invite you guys out to have your own adventure in a new way that maybe you've not thought about connecting to your waterways before. So if you take a look at this thing down here, this is a storm drain. That's basically where all of our waterways start at your front door, or maybe here in a parking lot where you work. So I'd like to invite you guys to have an adventure where you go out to the closest drain, I don't know, grab some gloves and maybe a garbage bag and a little broom, and you can just get in there, clean that thing up, swoop it all out. We've got these awesome yard flags. If you want to have a service event, you can put those out. And we just encourage you to then adopt your drain and keep it clean. Do that at least quarterly. If you look around, you'll see there's all kinds of leaves and restaurant packets and garbage, even like a poop bag right here. So it's a simple action. It's a way you can make a difference. Take a pledge, and thanks a lot.
I'm Brad Bobian. I'm with the White River Vision Plan. And while we've been working on some behind the scenes stuff on governance and funding really to support White River health and activation for the long term, it's really exciting how partners across the community continue to move projects forward to embrace the White River right now. And so, for example, our neighbors to the north are actively working on a 1,000-acre river district in East Carmel, connecting across the river to a new river ecology center planned for Conner Prairie. Potter's Bridge Park is expanding to include a new 40-acre lake that will help with floodwater storage. A new pedestrian bridge with stunning views is being advanced at 126th Street, and a Reflections on the Riverwalk pop-up exhibit that celebrates the river is open through Thanksgiving on the Riverwalk in downtown Noblesville. Here in Indy, 2 performance venues will be ready to welcome the community when we gather again. Wet River State Park's permanent stage was completed this summer, while work is well underway to transform the crumbling Taggart Memorial in Riverside Park into a state-of-the-art amphitheater and home to Indy Shakes. And speaking of Riverside, as called for in its master plan, 2 of the 3 golf courses have been taken offline. And planning is underway right now to transform one of them into an outdoor ecology and adventure park. Another indie park, Broad Ripple, will be getting a signature investment in the new family center, its first step in implementing its master plan. But it's not just about people. IDEM is leading an intense water quality study for the river, and Citizens Energy is moving forward replacing the failed Emmericksville Lowhead Dam with a rock arch ramp that provides the city's emergency water supply while also allowing aquatic life to pass freely, something it hasn't been able to do in the stretch of river for more than a century. So stay tuned in the coming months for movement on that behind the scenes stuff. But in the meantime, get out and enjoy the sights and sounds of our White River.
Hi, my name is Roland Smith, and I am the Director of Community Engagement at Keep Indianapolis Beautiful. I and the Indianapolis Arts Council are so excited to be a part of the Indie Art and Seek project. We have over 100 installations that are here for you to explore. And so right now we're here at one of our green spaces, and we want you to take this opportunity to get out, do your thing, have fun, and explore all of these 100 interventions, especially around our waterways. It'll be an amazing opportunity for you and your family.
So now we're coming towards the end of our program today, and we want to thank you so much for joining us for ROWPort 2020, an exploration and celebration along our waterways. I'm going to have Kelly Brown send us out for the day and tell us a little bit about a new exciting tool to help you explore and take an adventure along our waterways.
Thank you for joining us today. We really value your time. And we are super excited to share a new exploration guide. We'll have a PDF that you can download and look at, and we'll also have an interactive map which will help you explore the waterways so you can see some of those beautiful sights that you saw today and learn a little bit more about some of the impacts we've done along our waterways. You can see art, you can look at beautiful nature spots, enjoy beautiful vistas like we're at today. It is self-guided, so take your time, do a waterway one day and another waterway a different day. We really just want you to get out, enjoy nature. It's a great way to explore our city and to relax and rejuvenate yourself. We're really happy to have you today and look forward to working with you in the future.